What about the Celtics, too? Come on, they've been putting in work. Do you think they have a real shot to get out of the East?
Molly, the East is so wide open, and I said this before. I said this earlier in the show, and I know people want to say, Perk, you was the one a month ago saying it's time to blow them up. But if you would have saw them a month and a half ago and you wasn't thinking the same thing I was thinking, then you're dead wrong. But now, all of a sudden, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are coming together. They actually looking like they enjoy playing with one another. They actually look like they like one another. And when I look at the addition of Derek White, who, by the way, was an underrated pickup at the trade deadline by the Boston Celtics, I mean, this guy could flat out play. System player, well coached, knows the game, high IQ. They have a top 10 center in the NBA and Robert Williams. Everything that you need in the center, Robert Williams is doing that and more. So when I look at the way that Jayson Tatum is playing right now, Stephen A. and Molly, he's actually playing like a top 5 guy in the NBA. He's actually playing with a level of aggression, a level of tenacity, a level of anger. He's stepping on the floor with other superstars and saying, nah, I'm the best player on the floor. And I'm not just talking about scoring. The brother down there using that 6'10" frame with those wide shoulders, going to get you double-figure rebounds. Now he's making guys around him better. I hear him yelling and one, yelling at the refs, screaming and flexing at the fans. If you could get this type of Jayson Tatum, along with Jaylen Brown and the others and Marcus Smart doing his thing, facilitating the rock, they could beat any team in the Eastern Conference. They really can. It just depends on what version you get.
I brought this up a few weeks ago. They can beat any team in the Eastern Conference when all things are right. But we have an obligation to point out the things that can go wrong, too. They recently won 9 straight before they lost the last game to the Detroit Pistons. Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown are stars in this game, both of them. But when people have lamented the Celtics and them playing together and contemplated separating them, here's the reason why. It had nothing to do with their talent. It had everything to do with, here's the ball, it's my turn. Now here's the ball, it's your turn.
Thank you.
If you talk to coaches around the NBA, they will tell you one of the most unpleasant teams to watch at times were the Boston Celtics, because the movement of the basketball isn't there. It's too much iso ball, et cetera, et cetera. Now, what they've done lately is they've elevated their level of defensive play. They will shut you down a lot of times. And you got Tatum and Brown, and the acquisition of that kid White, I think, is a huge plus, and getting Tice back was a huge plus as well. But they got to move the ball. They got to be active and stop standing around and looking for Tatum or Brown to save the day, and they'll be
do me a favor. Perk, we'll talk about this next week. Okay, yep.
The one thing that they did to get on the same page.
Okay.
They sat down, the two of them, about a month and a half ago, and talked it out like young men, like grown men. And now all of a sudden you see it carry over into the floor. That's all I want to say.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.